216 BC, the Battle of Cannae became a defining moment in the Second Punic War between Rome and Carthage. Taking place in southeast Italy, it pitted the Roman Republic against Hannibal Barca, the brilliant Carthaginian general who orchestrated a devastating defeat for Rome. The Roman forces, commanded by Lucius Aemilius Paullus and Gaius Terentius Varro, suffered one of the most catastrophic losses in their history. This battle not only showcased Hannibal's military genius, but also marked a low point for Rome, testing its resilience and capacity to recover. Hannibal's campaign in Italy had already shaken Rome to its core. After crossing the Pyrenees and the Alps in 218 BC, Hannibal quickly secured victories at Trebia and Lake Trasimene. These defeats forced Rome to appoint Quintus Fabius Maximus as dictator, who adopted a cautious strategy to wear Hannibal down by avoiding direct confrontations and cutting off his supplies. However, Fabius's approach was unpopular among Romans, eager for a decisive victory. When his term ended, the Senate replaced him with new commanders who sought a more aggressive strategy. By 216 BC, Rome raised an unprecedented force of 8 legions, double their usual strength. This massive army, totaling around 86,000 soldiers, was sent to confront Hannibal under the joint leadership of Varro and Paullus. The commanders alternated daily control of the army, a standard Roman practice that would prove problematic during the upcoming engagement. Hannibal had established his position near the small village of Cannae by capturing a key supply depot, forcing the Roman army to confront him on his terms. As the Romans approached, they set up camp near the Aufidus River. Varro, eager for a decisive victory, engaged in minor skirmishes that boosted the morale of his troops. Paullus, however, was more cautious, wary of Hannibal's tactical brilliance and superior cavalry. Hannibal's army, numbering between 40,000 and 50,000, was a diverse coalition of Libyans, Gauls, Iberians, Numidians, and other allies. Despite their differences, they were united by their loyalty to Hannibal. His troops were strategically positioned, with seasoned Spanish and Gallic infantry at the center and African soldiers on the flanks. Cavalry, led by Hannibal's brother Hasdrubal, guarded the sides, ready to outflank the Roman forces. On the day of the battle, Varro took command, leading the Roman army into an open field, a decision Paullus had opposed. The Romans advanced in a dense, deep formation, aiming to overpower Hannibal's center. Hannibal anticipated this move and employed a crescent-shaped formation, with his center deliberately weakened to draw the Roman forces inward. As the Romans pushed forward, they became trapped. Hannibal's cavalry quickly overwhelmed the Roman cavalry on both flanks. Instead of pursuing fleeing enemies, they turned to attack the Roman infantry from the rear. Meanwhile, Hannibal's African troops on the flanks pivoted inward, completing the encirclement of the Roman army. This maneuver, a textbook example of the double envelopment tactic, sealed Rome's fate. The Roman army was annihilated. Polybius records that approximately 70,000 Roman soldiers were killed, 10,000 captured, and only 15,000 managed to escape, including the young Scipio Africanus, who would later become one of Rome's greatest generals. The scale of the slaughter was unparalleled, with nearly 600 Romans dying every minute at the peak of the battle. Survivors described scenes of unimaginable horror, with some soldiers suffocating in the chaos or digging their own graves to avoid capture. The defeat sent shockwaves through Rome. Entire regions, including Apulia and Samnium, defected to Hannibal, and allies across Italy began to waver. Panic gripped the Roman Senate, which resorted to desperate measures, including consulting sacred texts and performing human sacrifices. New armies were hastily raised by recruiting boys, criminals, and slaves. Despite the catastrophic loss, Rome refused to capitulate. The Senate implemented a long-term strategy of attrition, avoiding large battles with Hannibal, while gradually eroding his resources. This shift in tactics eventually forced Hannibal into a defensive position. His failure to capture Rome after Cannae was a turning point. Although his cavalry commander, Hannibal, urged an immediate assault on the city, Hannibal hesitated, recognizing the risks and the exhaustion of his troops. For 14 years, Rome endured Hannibal's presence in Italy, engaging in smaller skirmishes and cutting off his reinforcements. The stalemate ended in 202 BC at the Battle of Zama, where Scipio Africanus decisively defeated Hannibal, bringing the Second Punic War to a close. The Battle of Cannae remains a landmark in military history, studied for its innovative tactics and dramatic consequences. Hannibal's genius at Cannae is often cited as the pinnacle of battlefield strategy, a masterclass in turning an enemy's strength into their greatest weakness. Yet, it also underscores Rome's extraordinary resilience. Despite the overwhelming defeat, Rome's determination to recover and adapt ultimately secured its dominance in the ancient world.